probably from next week you are going to have your exam. So now we will read this why Chinese mother are superior, and this will be our last lesson before your exam, and we will start revision. Okay. So we have talked about why Chinese mother are superior in our early classes too. Let's go through the writer. Why Chinese mother are superior. Is written by Amy Chow, who has born in Campion, Illinois in 1962. In 1962. She has, please let's see your book, okay? She graduated from Harvard College and earned her JD at Harvard Law School. She has done her graduation from Harvard College and she has earned her JD. This is a type of graduation at Harvard Law School, where she was an executive editor of the Harvard Law Review. Chow is now the John M. Duff Professor of Law. Chow is now presently she is the professor of law school, where she focuses on international law and business, ethnic conflict, and globalization. And the law means she is highly related to the law and business, ethnic conflict, and globalization, and the law is her particular subject that she is related with. She has written 2 scholarly books. The main books that she has written are Old on Fire, How Exporting Free Market Democracy Breeds Ethnic Hatred and Global Instability in 2003, and Days of Empire, How Hydropower Rise to Global Dominance and Why They Fall in 2007. Today, however, Chow is best known for her parenting memoir, Battleheim of the Tiger Mother 2011. That means would how we would do parenting, how we need to have parenting, how we need to look after the children, and how the way of now. Are you getting me now? Hello, class.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So, how the mother should look after the children and how the way they have used the way to upbring the children has the positive and negative effects to the children. These are compared here, as I have said you. This is a comparison between the way how Chinese mother upbring the children and the way how the Western mothers and parents upbring their children. So background on parenting style. Chow writes disapprovingly about contemporary Western parents, means he is very negative to these Western parents. The work what Western parents has done, the steps what a Western parents has adapted, she is totally against that. And she claims are extremely anxious about their children's self-esteem. The children's self-esteem means the children also will have their own prestige. No, we have our own prestige. Even in front of our parents too, we have our own prestige. And what do we want? We want that prestige to be maintained. And for maintaining the prestige, our parents also should Be sincere towards the childrens, not only us. No, not only the children who to be sincere towards the parents. Our parents also should be sincere towards their children too. So children also has their self-esteem. So that self-esteem of the children must be maintained by the parents if they want to upgrade their children on the way how they like. So what she says that such anxieties, that means such a pain, no, which they would bear, they would feel when they are being dominated in front of others. These things parents should understand. Such anxieties are related new, especially when one surveys the history of parenting from the ancient Greek. If we go through the history of parenting in ancient Greek, we can know what has been over there and what should be there. Who commonly left unwanted children in the woods to die of exposure. This woods means forest. The parents they used to leave their children. Yes, commonly they used to leave their children in forests to die because there was problem of eating. So they leave them. If you have remembered, we have read the Hansel and Gretel in our class 12, no? 12 मा Hansel Gretel पढाएको थियो नि हामीले. Can you remember that?
Yes, ma'am.
त्यहाँ इन्टरप्रिटेसन गर्दाखेरि एउटा इन्टरप्रिटेसनमा के थियो, Hansel and Gretel are not only the children who are left in the forest, no, before that too there were many other children which their own parents has left, हैन, स्टेप मदरले मात्र होइन आफ्नै आमाले छोडेका बच्चालाई लगेर जङ्गलमा छोडेको घटनाहरू नि धेरै छ भनेर भनेको छ नि त्यहाँ एउटा इन्टरप्रिटेसनमा. Yes, that 17th century was the time for that. Why? American Puritans who practice a philosophy of a better way than damned. French Enlightenment, when there was revolution in France, and that French Enlightenment figure Jean-Jacques Rousseau in 1712 to 1778 proposed a more sympathetic view of the child, writing that when children's wills are not spoiled by our fault, children want nothing uselessly. Children are the example and they are our aim too. So how we should maintain that our example and aim? So children, they are to be cared a lot. So children, they should be treated in a sympathetic view, writing that when children's will are not spoiled by our fault, children want nothing uselessly. But in the 19th and early 20th century, after completing that stage, if we go to the 19th and early 20th century, American parenting philosophies usually focus on discipline. They started focusing the children to be disciplined. How to make the children disciplined. Emotional detachment. Yes, how to make them emotionally detached. And the wisdom of experts. As Dr. Luther Emmett Holt wrote in The Care and Feeding of Children, 1894, instinct and maternal love are too often assumed to be a sufficient guide for a mother. Pediatrician Benjamin Spock, who published his enormously influential Baby and Child Care in 1946, is often credited with or blamed for a social shift towards more permissive child rearing, especially in the context of the baby boom generation. Spock urged parents to trust their own judgment and to meet their children's need rather than worrying about spoiling the children. So they started thinking about fulfilling the needs, demands, and interests of the children. They don't think about स्पोइलिङ द चिल्ड्रेन्स लाइफ। बच्चा भनेको चाहिँ हाम्रो भविष्य रहेछ, सन्तान भनेको त हाम्रो भविष्यको लागि हो। मिन्स दे आर आवर प्राइड एन्ड द प्राइड which our children's has given us, हैन। हामी घमण्ड गर्ने, प्राउडनेस हुने एउटा तरिका हो नि त। सो द प्राउडनेस द्याट we have must be maintained and we must make our children up to date, सेन्सिटिभ, डिसिप्लिन, हैन। यस्ता फिलिङहरू चाहिँ त्यतिखेर बढेर गयो, अहिले बढिरहेछ, अझ बढिरहेछ। सो in the decades that followed, this parents' approach accompanied an increasing emphasis on children's self-esteem. बच्चाहरूको पनि आफ्नो सेल्फ स्टिम, विल पावर, इन्ट्रेस्ट, हैन, यी कुराहरू हुन्छन्। एन्ड दिज चिल्ड्रेन्स सेल्फ स्टिम विल बी बोथ एट होम एन्ड इन स्कुल। घरमा र स्कुलमा दुवैमा। This must be maintained. This is the history. What a background of parenting style. Parenting style. बच्चालाई बाबुआमाले हेर्ने कुराहरूको ब्याकग्राउन्ड कस्तो छ त, हिस्ट्रीमा कस्तो भयो त भन्दा, पहिला कुनै समय थियो सन्तान धेरै हुन्थे, खाना पुग्दैन थियो, हैन। आफूले खानेकुराको पेरेन्ट्सहरूले घरमा म्यानेज गर्न सक्दैन थिए। अनि के गर्थे, दे युज टु लिभ देयर चिल्ड्रेन इन द जङ्गल, इन द फरेस्ट। बच्चालाई जङ्गलमा छोडिदिने, हैन। अनि खानेकुरा नपुग्नाले गर्दा ह्यान्सल एन्ड ग्रेटल सम्झिनु भयो भने यु विल मेमोराइज देयर। त्यो ह्यान्सल एन्ड ग्रेटल कुनै बेलाको रियल स्टोरी हो, है। द्याट्स अ रियल स्टोरी। अब त्यस पछाडि 16th, 17th, 18th सेन्चुरी भन्दा पछाडि चाहिँ के भयो, अहिले भएको 1920th सेन्चुरीमा चाहिँ के भइरहेछ भनेको, ओ चिल्ड्रेन आर नट लाइक द्याट। बच्चा वास्तवमा त्यो होइन रहेछ। चिल्ड्रेन्स आर द वे, चिल्ड्रेन्स आर आवर प्राउडनेस, चिल्ड्रेन्स आर आवर इमेजेस, चिल्ड्रेन्स मस्ट बी आवर प्राइड, हैन। We must brought up children in a way how they can be a good citizen in their future or how they can develop themselves in future. अनि अर्को कुरा के, बच्चा अहिले विकास भयो भने मात्रै कन्ट्री विकास हुने भयो, देश डेभलप्ड हुने भयो। अदरवाइज द कन्ट्री विल रिमेन द सेम। हो, देशलाई विकास गर्न र गराउनको लागि पनि दे स्टार्टेड एजुकेटिङ द चिल्ड्रेन, दे स्टार्टेड making the children self-disciplined and well-disciplined. So this is the history. So let's go to the essay. A lot of people wonder how Chinese parents, म तपाईहरुलाई यो पाल चाहिँ रिडिङ र उ गराइन ल, किन एक्जामलाई यो सकाएर अनि रिभिजन गराउँला भन्ने सोचले। ओके क्लास?
Okay.
Okay, so let's see. A lot of people wonder how Chinese parents raise such stereotypically successful kids. A lot of people they wonder. हो, अचम्ममा पर्छन् उनीहरू, आश्चर्यमा पर्छन्। How Chinese parents they raise, यो चाइनिज पेरेन्ट्सहरूले बच्चाहरूलाई कसरी हुर्काउने, बढाउने र अचम्मको नयाँ इभेन्टहरू गराउने र बच्चालाई सफल गराउने काम गरिरहेछन् त। Now they are very, very shocked because of this. They wonder what these parents do not produce so many math whizzes and music prodigies. What it's like inside the family and whether they could do it too. बच्चा घरभित्र कस्तो छन्, इन्भाइरोमेन्ट कस्तो काम गरिरहेछन् र उनीहरू कस्तो बन्दैछन्, why they are very fast and superior then? Well, I can tell them because I have done it. मैले गरेँ, म भन्न सक्छु, writer says. Here are some things my daughter Sophia and Lausia were never allowed to do. केही restriction छ मेरो बच्चालाई. She has 2 daughters, yes, and there are certain restrictions to my daughters which they should not do. उनीहरूले गर्न नहुने, हो पहिला गर्न नहुने कुरा छुटाइयो। के attend a sleepover, have a play date, be in a school play, complain about not being in a school play. यहाँ कुनै टर्महरु बुझ्नु भएन भने सोध्नुस् है मलाई। Was TV or play computer game, हैन choose their own extra curricular activities एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर एक्टिभिटिज नै हामी आफै छानिदिन्छौँ भनेको यो है उनीहरूले आफै छानेर गर्न पाएनन् choose their own extra curricular activities get any grade less than A एक्जाम दिएर पढिसकेपछि A भन्दा कम ग्रेड ल्याउन नपाइने no get less grade than A not be the number one student in every subject except gym and drama हेर्नुस् त not be the number one student in every subject except gym and drama play any instrument other than the piano or violin हैन पियानो भोलिन बाहेक अरु खेल्नै नदिने not play the piano or violin कि पियानो र भोलिन खेल्नै नदिने यस्ता restrictionsहरु घरै पछि every parent has created restrictions to the children this is how they have started developing and making their children extra so these examples which our writer says has created boundaries for her children has created यसले के काम गर्यो it has created boundary it has created a way to be self disciplined मैले यो चाहिँ गर्न पाउँदिन यो चाहिँ मैले गर्न मिल्दैन पहिला यहाँबाट सुरु हुन्छ yes this is of Chinese mother I am using the term Chinese mother loosely अब यो सबैलाई प्रेजेन्ट गर्नलाई our writer uses the term Chinese mother I know some Korean Indian Jamaican Irish and Ghanaian parents means those parents who are of this country they were Korea को लागि Korean भएको India को लागि Indian भएको okay so she says I know the parents of these countries those parents who are qualified to जो पढेर आफै qualified पनि छन् conversely I know some mothers of Chinese heritage almost always born in the West were not Chinese mother वेस्टमा जन्मेका भनेको युरोपमा जन्मेका विवाह भएर चाइनामा बसेका ती आमाहरू पनि छन् were not Chinese mother by choice or otherwise I am also using the term Western parents loosely त्यस्तो पेरेन्ट्सलाई म वेस्टर्न पेरेन्ट्स भन्छु भनिन् उनले यो यसैभरि चाइनामै जन्मेर हुर्केर विवाह गरेर चाइनामा सत्ता जन्माउने आमाहरू चाहिँ चाइनिज भनिन् उनले and those parents who are not born in China who are grown up in the western country मा grown up भएर चाइनामा बस्न आएकोलाई चाहिँ उनले के भनिन् they are western now you need to know who are western parents and who are Chinese parents western parents come in all varieties when it comes to parenting को कुरा जब आउँछ Chinese seem to produce children who display academic excellence पढाइमा एकदमै राम्रो musical mastery and professional success म्युजिकमा उनीहरू एकदमै अचम्मसँग चेन्ज भएका plus professional success or show the stereotype cause Wes Christianity speaks to two moms raised by Chinese immigrants who share what it was like growing up and how they hope to raise their children. बच्चा grow up गर्नलाई कस्तो र बच्चालाई grow up गरिसकेपछि how can we help them to be grow up very fast and soon again. All the same, even when Western parents think they are being strict. Oh, Western पनि strict त छन् नभएको होइन. When they think they are strict, म strict छु भन्ने Western parents को सोच हुँदा, they usually don't come close to being Chinese mothers. Chinese mothers को नजिक उनीहरू आउँदैनन्. For example, my Western friends who consider themselves strict make their children practice their instrument 30 minutes every day. You need to give an example, so underline it, okay? के भन्छन् उनले? See here, for example, my Western friends, मेरो Western parents जुन छ, जो चाहिँ आमा हुन्, उनकी साथी, यो राइटरको साथी, who consider themselves strict, म एकदमै स्ट्रिक्ट छु, बच्चालाई एकदमै केयर गरेको छु भन्ने उनलाई फिल हुन्छ. उनले के गर्छिन् त? Make their children practice their instrument, भनेको म्युजिकल इन्स्ट्रुमेन्ट 30 minutes every day. हरेक दिन 30 मिनेट चाहिँ आफ्नो बच्चालाई म्युजिकल इन्स्ट्रुमेन्ट प्र्याक्टिस गर्न लगाउँछिन्. दिस इज वेस्टर्न मदर. ओके, एन आवर एट मस्ट, 1 घण्टा त चाहिन्थ्यो नै, तर उनले 30 मिनेट गराइन्. फर अ चाइनिज मदर द फर्स्ट आवर इज द इजी पार्ट. अब चाइनिज मदरको कुरा गर्ने हो भने पहिलो 1 घण्टा त एकदमै सजिलो हुन्छ. 1 घण्टा त उसलाई प्र्याक्टिसको लागि मात्र पनि होइन. द्याट 1 आवर इज नट इनफ भन्ने चाइनिज मदरले सोच्छिन्. It's hour 2 and 3 that got tough. Now, second hour and third hour will make them tough. Then it will be hard to them. It will be hard for them. It will be hard for them for practicing them after a second hour. It is felt by Chinese mother. They do not think that for 1 hour, first hour will make them very hard to practice it. पहिलो घण्टामै practice गर्न गाह्रो हुन्छ भनेर Chinese mother never they think about. Second hour and third hour means they need to go for long and continuous works. लामो र कन्टिन्युअस काममा निरन्तर प्र्याक्टिस गरिरहनु पर्छ भन्ने चाइनिज मदरको सोच छ. तर यसको ठ्याक्क अपोजिट कस्तो भयो? उनले भन्छन् उनको साथी वेस्टर्न मदर जो छ, त्यो वेस्टर्न मदरको सोच के भयो? She thought that she herself is strict. म स्ट्रिक्ट आमा हो नि भन्ने उनको मनमा छ फिलिङ. कसरी? She thought that she is strict because she has made her children to practice that piano for 30 minutes a day. दिनमा 30 मिनेट मात्रै खेलाउने काम गर्छिन् उनले, बजाउन लगाउने काम गर्छिन्. त्यही काम चाहिँ चाइनिज मदरले के गराउँछन्? 1 hour is not enough, 1 hour is easy task. 1 घण्टा त त्यो सबभन्दा सजिलो काम हो. It must be practiced for 2 to 3 hours. त्यही काम 2 देखि 3 घण्टासम्म गर्नुपर्छ भन्ने चाहिँ कसको सोच छ? This is the thinking of Chinese mother. त्यसो भए स्ट्रिक्ट को भयो त? Chinese mothers are strict. All the same, even when Western parents think they are being strict, वेस्टर्नले म स्ट्रिक्ट छु, मैले बच्चालाई राम्रोसँग हेरिरहेको छु, केयर गरिरहेको छु, the way how look after to them is different and I am doing different tasks, हैन, and important tasks, they thinks it. तर they usually don't come close to being Chinese mothers. जति स्ट्रिक्ट छु भने पनि उनीहरू चाइनिज मदर जस्तो स्ट्रिक्ट चाहिँ कहिल्यै हुनै सक्दैनन्. किन? वेस्टर्नलाई उनीहरूलाई पहिला उनीहरूको पेरेन्ट्सले हुर्काउँदा पनि लुजली नै हुर्काइरहेछ नि त. हो, त्यही भएर they usually don't come close to being Chinese mothers. For example, my Western friend, मेरो Western friend एकजना छ, who consider themselves strict, make their children practice their instrument 30 minutes every day. हैन त? तर यही काम चाइनिज मदरले के गराउने भइन्? 2 to 3 hours. पहिलो 1 घण्टा त त्यो एकदमै सजिलो काम हो भनेर लगाउने भइन्. Despite our squeamishness about cultural stereotypes, there are tons of studies out there showing marked and quantifiable differences between Chinese and Westerns when it comes to parenting. अब बच्चालाई हेरविचार गर्ने, हैन, पेरेन्टिङ केयर गर्ने कुरामा आउने हो भने there are tons of studies out their showing marked and quantified differences. बच्चाको फरकका कुरा गर्ने हो भने उनीहरूले एब्जर्भ गरेका मार्क्सका कुरा गर्ने हो भने देयर आर डिफरेन्सेस बिट्विन चाइनिज एन्ड वेस्टर्न्स. When it comes to parenting, in one study of 50 Western American mothers, 50 जना Western American mothers को स्टडीमा हेर्ने हो भने 48 Chinese immigrants mother. Immigrants means who has migrated from next country. So those 48 migrated immigrant mothers, Chinese immigrant mothers, जो चाइनामा आएर बसे तर अरू नै देशका आमाहरू इमिग्रेटेड, almost 70% of the Western mothers said either that stressing academic success is not good for children. बच्चालाई हामीले तनाव दिएर अन्डरलाइन लगाऊ है यो. ती आमाहरू के भन्छन् भने प्रेसर दिएर बच्चालाई तनाव दिएर बर्डन बढाएर हैन उनीहरूलाई बर्डन हुने मात्र काम गराएर पढाइमा दबाब दिनुको महत्त्व छैन. पढ्ने चाहिँ उनीहरूले कस्तो इन्ट्रेस्टले पढ्नुपर्छ भन्ने सोच राख्छन् उनीहरू. तर इन्ट्रेस्टले बच्चाले पर्दैन भन्छन् चाइनिज मदरहरू. हेर्नुस् है त. व्हाट्स इज अन्डरलाइन इट. ओके. 48 चाइनिज इमिग्रेन्ट्स मदरहरूको सर्वे गर्दा almost 70%, 48 मध्येको 70% ले के भने they said either that stressing academic success is not good for children. बच्चालाई पढाइमा मात्रै धेरै स्ट्रेस गराउनु राम्रो होइन. They think it. कसले वेस्टर्न है. त्यो इमिग्रेटेड चाइनिज भनेको वेस्टर्न हो भनेर सम्झनुस्. Or that parents need to foster the idea that learning is fun. खेल्दै सिक्नु पर्यो. They thinks it. हाम्रोमा नि यही भइरहेछ नि अहिले. By contrast, roughly 0% of the Chinese mothers felt the same way. यही कुरालाई कन्ट्रास्ट गर्ने हो भने चाइनिज मदरतिर लाने हो भने no any Chinese mother thinks that. चाइनिज मदर बच्चा खेल्दै सिक्छ उनीहरू भन्दैनन्. प्रेसर गराउनु पर्छ बच्चालाई, तनाव दिनुपर्छ, दबाब दिनुपर्छ उनीहरूलाई. गराउनको लागि उनीहरूलाई क्राइटेरियाजहरू दिनुपर्छ. हैन भने पनिशमेन्ट दिनुपर्छ, गाली दिनुपर्छ अनि मात्र गर्छन् भन्छन् चाइनिज मदरहरू. खेल्दै सिक्ने भन्ने त हुँदैन भन्छन् वेस्टर्न चाइनिज मदरहरू. खेल्दै सिक्छन्, बच्चालाई प्रेसर दिनु हुँदैन, स्ट्रेस दिनुहुन्न भन्छन् वेस्टर्न मदरहरू. तर चाइनिज मदर कसैले पनि यस्तो सोच्दैन. यो कुरा होइन, इट्स रङ भन्छन् उनीहरू. Instead, the vast majority of the Chinese mothers said that they believe their children can be the best student. That academic achievement reflects successful parenting. Academic achievement जुन हाम्रो पढाइमा भएको सफलता छ, this reflects a successful parenting. चाइनिज मदरले जुन गराए, प्रेसर दिएर गराउने कामहरू गराए हो, त्यो नै सबभन्दा सक्सेसफुल पेरेन्टिङ हो भनेर देखिन्छ. Because the children, Chinese children are seen very extra and outstanding in their study because of the way how their parents are parenting them. And that if children did not excel at school, then there was a problem and parents were not doing their job. Other studies indicate that compared to Western parents, Chinese parents spend approximately 10 times as long everyday drilling academic activities with their children. अरु Western mother को कुरा गर्ने हो भने underline this, okay? This whole paragraph is very important. Academic को कुरा गर्ने हो भने Chinese mother spends 10 times more time to their children in a day as compared to the Western mothers. Western mothers ले एक दिनमा आफ्नो बच्चासँग समय बिताएको हेर्ने हो भने त्यो भन्दा 10 टाइम धेरै Chinese मदरहरूले आफ्नो बच्चासँग टाइम बिताउँछन्. Means they are very near to their children. They are very known to their children. They know the different activities, conditions, ways of their children. By contrast, Western kids are more likely to participate in sports team. Contrast हेर्ने हो भने Western kids they like to play sports team हैन उनीहरूलाई खेल्न धेरै मनपर्छ बच्चालाई खेल्न त अभियसली मनपर्छ हैन त तर खेलाइले मात्र जीवन चल्ने रहेछ त खेलेर मात्र फ्युचरमा लाइफ सेटल हुने रहेछ त हुँदैन नि हैन for each and everything हाम्रोमा सम्झनुस् न अहिले for each and everything what do we need हामीलाई के चाहिन्छ we need study first then only other activities हरेक कुरामा पढाइ चाहिँ चाहिन्छ पढाइलाई पहिलो प्रायोरिटी दिने र अरूलाई पनि उ जेमा इन्ट्रेस्ट छ त्यसलाई सकेसम्म प्रेसर गराएर लिएर जाने इन्ट्रेस्टको रूपमा छोड्दिने गर्यो भने उसको त्यो हबी र एम बन्न सक्दैन भन्ने फिलिङ कसको छ चाइनिज पेरेन्ट्स What Chinese parents understand is Chinese parents ले के बुझ्छन् भने underline it okay nothing is fun until they are good at it जबसम्म उनीहरूले राम्रोसँग गर्न सक्दैनन् तबसम्म त्यसलाई फनको रूपमा लिनु हुँदैन जब राम्रोसँग गर्न सक्छन् अनि मात्र इन्जोय गर्छन् till he or she cannot do it properly till the time they are learners सिक्ने टाइममा फन हुँदैन भन्छन् उनीहरू So, to get good at anything, you have to work. कुनै काममा राम्रो हुन काम गर्नुपर्छ. To get good at anything, you have to work. And children on their own never want to work. बच्चा आफै कहिले काम गर्न खोज्दैन. हेर्नुस् है. Which is why it is crucial to override their preferences. This often requires fortitude on the part of the parents because child will resist. Things are always hardest at the beginning. सुरुमा त जी गर्न पनि गाह्रो हुन्छ. At the beginning everything is hard. मैले अस्ति भने नि खाना पनि खाँदैन बच्चाले पहिला. हामी नि खाँदैनथ्यौं. हाम्रो मम्मीहरूले बाबाहरूले हामीलाई कोच्याउँदा now we cannot live without that food. यस्तो बनाउनुपर्छ बच्चालाई पहिला चाहिँ के उले जेमा इन्ट्रेस्ट देखायो त्यसलाई उनलाई प्रेसराइज गरेर लानु पर्यो फुटबल खेल्छ भने इन्ट्रेस्ट हो जाओस् 1 घण्टा खेलोस् आओस् होइन उलाई त्यसमा प्रेसर गरेर 2-3 घण्टा दिनको प्र्याक्टिस गर्ने गराउनु पर्यो so that it can be converted in their way in their lifetime so everything's are hardest at the beginning which is where Western parents tend to give up. अब Western parents ले के गर्छन् बच्चाले सकेन भने ल छोड्देऊ भनेर बिचमा छोड्दिन नि ल्याउँछन्. But if done properly, the Chinese strategy produces a virtuous circle. Tenacious practice is crucial for excellence. राम्रो हुनको लागि प्र्याक्टिसै गरिरहनु पर्यो. Until and unless good practice, it could not be shown well. Rote repetition is underrated in America. Rote repetition भनेको घरिघरि त्यही कामलाई एकदमै धेरै रिपिटेसन गर्ने चाहिँ अमेरिकामा छैन हैन तर Eastern that is in Chinese parents they make them look and do it for time and again हो एकदमै समय मात्र हैन कि धेरै समय लगाएर त्यही काम गरिरहने चाहिँ कसले गराइदिन्छ that is done by Chinese mother but Western mothers they do not do it Western mothers ले त्यो काम चाहिँ गर्नुहुन्न okay remaining we will read tomorrow and I'm trying to finish this lesson fast okay for our revision अर्को सन्डे देखि हुन्छ भन्नुभएको छ सरले एक्जाम
हजुर म्याम सन्डे कि फ्राइडे देखि
फ्राइडे भनेको यो विक फ्राइडे
हजुर
ए त्यसो भए त के गर्ने त यो लेसनलाई okay I'll discuss with next English Pashupati sir too and I will see you tomorrow okay
okay ma'am
thank you class goodbye take care
Bye bye, ma'am.
Thank you,
Bye
ma'am.
bye. Bye bye. पढ्नुहोस् है.
Thank you,
Read
ma'am.
for you.